Hi there, welcome to the 2021 Maths Parent Workshop for Year 4. Now we're going to first look at addition and subtraction. We use column method. This is essential that they write the place value columns above, so whether it's the thousands, the hundreds, the tens or the ones. It involves a very good knowledge of this place value structure and their number bonds to 20. The language we use for addition is carryover, sum of, altogether, more, total, plus, increase and together. The language for subtraction is exchange. This used to be known as borrowing from the next place value column. Difference, decrease, fewer, between, reduce, minus and take. This is the same for both whole numbers and decimal numbers. I'm going to give you some examples of the assessment style worded problems that we get. Up on your top left and top right, they're the number sentences that they might get that they have to put back into their column method. Then at any stage I show these, you can just pause it and give them a read through yourself. They have to first read the question and then understand what it's asking them. Then choose the correct method before they then solve it. Okay. After they've solved it, we ask them to do the inverse. So if it's multiplication, they'll do division just to check their answers correct. Okay, moving on to multiplication. We start with long multiplication, which is timesing by the tens and the ones and the hundreds separately, then recombining using addition. We then, after this understanding's cemented, we move on to short multiplication. Please see the calculation policy for any of these. It involves an excellent knowledge of times tables. At this age group, this is essential that they know their times tables and they can recall them straight away. Otherwise, they're really going to struggle with the methods we're using. They also need to know their number bonds to 20 without counting on their fingers. The language for multiplication is product, multiply, lots of, times, and groups of. It's the same for decimals. It's still the same methods. We just teach them to ignore that decimal place, but they must include it back at the end. Okay, they must remember to pop it back in. So we've got some examples here. Missing number ones really cement their understanding. So I know there's a subtraction one at the top, but that multiplication one underneath, they need to use division to work out 450 divided by the 90 to equal that missing number answer. Again, there's some examples of worded problems that they get. They have to use, we call it the rucksack method, that reading, understanding and choosing the right operation before they start to solve it. Division. So we've got two methods we use. It's long division and bus stop method. The children are really enjoying using the bus stop method at the moment. But again, like multiplication, it involves that excellent knowledge of their times tables and the relationship between multiplication and division. The language we use for division is share equally. That equally is essential. They know division as sharing already, but since year 1, we've tried to drum it into them that it has to be equal size groups. Divisible by, divided by, and group of. Now, divisible by is where it can be divided, but there's no remainders. So, equal size groups with no remainders. Remainders, first we present them as a remainder. So we write, if it was 365, remainder 5, it would be 365 R5. We then move this on to understanding that remainder, converting it into a fraction, and then a decimal as well. The division of decimals, just like multiplication, is the same, but they must have that understanding of their place value columns, including their tenths, hundredths, and so on. An example of this question is a group of friends earns £80 by washing cars. They share the money equally. Notice how the word equally is in bold. They get £16 each. How many friends are in the group? So it's really tapping into their understanding behind there. You can see down here, adding in the greater than, equal or less than signs. They have to have that understanding of their times tables. So like I said previously, please see the calculation policy. Mine and Mrs. Nelder's door is always open for you to come and have a chat if you're confused about any methods that we use. So please get in touch with us if you want to know more, because helping at home, teaching and supporting using the same methods that we teach in the school just eliminates any confusion that the children might have. So you can support at home with the homework. The second one down here is really important. We can always tell the children that have had experiences, for example, dealing with money when they're shopping, measuring, looking at fractions, looking at the time all the time. We can tell the children that do this at home. Like I've said previously as well, times tables, that speed and the recall, instant recall of their times table is now essential. We've always worked on it, but as they're getting older, just having that knowledge is going to support them in every single calculation they do. We then, using Numbots, the online resources, and Morodo, that's where their homework's set. All homework is now online, nothing's going to be paper copied. If they're ever confused about a certain topic in maths that we're doing, and at home you want some extra support, here are some websites that are really good. BBC Bite Size, as you all know, has some brilliant videos to talk them through it. Top Marks has some great games to sort of help them solidify their understanding, and Enrich down here as well, some brilliant problem solving activities are there that you can do at home. Like I said though, please get in touch with myself or Mrs. Nelder and we'll be able to support you. Thank you very much for watching and listening.